The sky above the alien base was black and heavy. Clouds moved fast as if they were afraid of what was coming. Inside the base, soldiers of the Zarkonian Empire stood tall in shiny blue armor. They waited for a special visitor, the first human. Diplomat ever to enter their territory after the Earth War. They were not afraid. Why would they be? Humans were weak. That's what they believed. That's what the galaxy believed. The soldiers laughed and played games as they stood near the landing. Pad, one of them, a tall red-skinned commander named Vorsk, smirked. "She comes without weapons," he said. "How boring. I thought Earth would send someone more exciting." A ship landed slowly. It was small, no defense systems. No escort, just one human aboard. The ramp opened. Silence fell across the base. She stepped out. She wore a simple white coat, no armor, no helmet, no fear in her walk. Her boots tapped softly on the metal floor as she moved forward. Her hair was short, her eyes calm. She held nothing in her hands. Vorsk raised his arm. "State your name." She looked at him. "My name is Alara Quinn. I come to talk." The soldiers laughed. One even whispered, "She looks like a teacher, not a fighter." Alara ignored them. Vorsk walked up to her. He stood inches from her face. He was nearly 3 feet taller than her. "You come here with no guards, no armor, no threat. Do you know how many of your kind we've killed?" Alara didn't blink. "Yes." He narrowed his eyes. "Then why are you here?" She looked past him. "Because you killed something more dangerous than soldiers." Vorsk frowned. "What did we kill?" She turned her eyes to meet his. "Peace." The room where the meeting was held was big and cold. Long black walls, a high ceiling. Dozens of soldiers stood around the edges, weapons ready. A large table was in the middle. Alara stood alone at one end. Vorsk and 6 alien generals sat across from her. "You have one chance, human," said General Karth. "Say something useful, or we send your head back to Earth." Alara took a deep breath. She placed a small crystal cube on the table. A hologram appeared. It showed photos, videos. Screens. It showed Earth cities under attack. Human children crying. Civilians running. Explosions, fire, blood. The room became quiet. "You call this war," Alara said. "We called it home." General Karth slammed the table. "War always has a cost." Alara nodded slowly. "And now you will pay yours." Vorsk stood. "You threaten us? Alone?" Alara looked up at him. Her voice stayed soft. "I didn't come to threaten. I came to warn." Suddenly, the lights flickered. The guards shifted. Some looked at their weapons. Energy cells blinked red for no reason. Vorsk growled. "What trick is this?" Ilura's voice dropped to a whisper. "You made one mistake." "What?" "You thought we were calm. Then something changed. Her body didn't move, but her eyes changed. They turned black, not like darkness, not like space, but like an endless pit. Like the last thing you see before falling forever." Every soldier in the room froze. Something ancient stared out from her eyes. Something cold. Something buried deep. One guard dropped his weapon. Another took a step back. Her eyes, someone gasped. Vorsk pointed. "Shoot her," but no one fired. They couldn't. Their hands shook. Fingers refused to move. General Karth shouted. "It's psychic warfare. Block her mind." The tech team tried to scan her. Their devices exploded in their hands. Alara took one. "Step forward." Just one. The floor beneath her cracked. The air got heavy. One soldier fell to his knees, gasping for breath. Vorsk roared and charged. "I'll lend you myself." He pulled a blade from his back and leapt forward. Alara didn't move. She just stared. Vorsk's eyes widened mid-air. He screamed not from pain, but from something else. Something no one else could see. He dropped the blade and fell flat on The floor. UNMOV. The room went silent. Ilara looked at the other generals. I told you, we came to talk, but you made it war. General Karth tried to run. The doors refused to open, locked from the inside. We didn't know. He cried. We didn't know what triggers human rage. Ilara turned slowly. Her eyes faded back to normal. She whispered, now you do. Outside, the guards near the landing pad heard a strange sound that it wasn't a bomb. It wasn't a scream. It was a deep echo. Like thunder without clouds. Then the doors burst open. A wind blew out hot, dry and electric, and Ilara walked out. Alone. Her coat fluttered in the breeze. Behind her, inside the base. No one followed. No one could. She reached her ship. Tapped. A button. The ramp opened. Before she entered, she looked back at the silent soldiers. You think we rage because we're angry, she said softly. No, we rage because we remember. Then she vanished into the ship. The engines lit up. It rose slowly. And was gone. Later, that night. The Zarkonian generals held an emergency meeting on a secure moon base. One of them shook with fear. We need to understand what we saw. Another whispered. What did her eyes become? The old emperor, silent until now, finally spoke. I saw something like that once, he said. Long ago. Where? A general asked. He stared out the window in the mirror. After we destroyed our own world. Silence. The truth hit hard. They didn't face a human. They faced a memory, one shaped by grief, loss, and the fire of survival. Back on Earth. Ilara stood inside a quiet mountain base. She placed a small photo on the table. A child, smiling, gone. In the first wave of the alien attacks, she whispered to herself, I told them not to touch Earth. Behind her, a screen flashed. Zarkonian Empire. Total silence. No movement, no attacks. No broadcasts. She smiled faintly and walked away. The sky above Sector 9 research base glowed green. 3 suns circled the planet slowly. Inside the base, alien scientists prepared for something rare testing. A human, not just any human. Ilara, Quinn, the one who paralyzed a war room with her eyes. They captured her again, this time using a gravity snare bomb. They didn't take chances now. She was placed inside a magnetic cell, guarded by 200 drones, 10 elite guards, and thick plasma walls. She just sat there, calm, waiting. Dr. Varen, the head bioscientist of the Zarkonian Empire, stood behind thick glass. His voice shook as he spoke to his team. Extract a sample. We study. We find out what makes them become that. A young assistant asked, should we sedate her? Varen shook his head. She already is sedated. Look at her. She's quiet. They didn't understand. They were only looking at the surface. The door hissed open. 2 robotic arms floated toward Ilara, carrying a small needle. She didn't move. Needle pierced her arm. Her blood flowed slowly into a transparent vial. Red. Normal. But then it changed. The blood turned black inside the vial. Tiny sparks danced through it, like electricity. Like fire. The machines beeped. Unknown substance detected. One screen flashed. VERR. Leaned in. What is this? The assistant's eyes widened. Sir, the blood's reacting to sound. The machines began clicking faster. The black liquid twisted, forming shapes like faces. Screaming faces. And then the vial cracked. Contain it. Varen shouted. Too late. A single drop fell on the lab table. The metal sizzled. Alarms screamed. Every screen displayed one word. Warning, unstable organic agent. The blood spread. Fast. It moved like it was alive, crawling, searching. One assistant tried to back away. A drop touched his boot. He collapsed instantly, eyes wide open, body shaking, mouth open in a silent scream. The guards fired at the blood. Nothing worked. In the cell, Ilara opened her eyes. Black again. I warned you, she whispered. The guards looked at her, terrified. She didn't even move, one muttered. How is it doing this? The blood reached another screen. It touched the glass. The computer exploded. Sparks flew. More alarms. More panic. Scientists ran. Guards yelled. Dr. Varen stared at the growing black trail. It's not blood, he sighed. It's rage. Inside the control room, one AI drone activated emergency protocol. It accessed Ilara's brain scan. The data came back. Corrupted. No pattern. No logic. Just one word repeated across her neural scan. Memory. The I spoke aloud. Subject is not weaponized. Subject is mourning. Then the AI paused. Its screen went black. Then displayed something chilling. We should not have touched her. Then it self-destructed. Across the lab, fire suppression systems turned on, spraying gas, freezing air, and electric foam. Nothing worked. The rage blood climbed up the walls now. Toward the observation deck. Dr. Varen pressed a red button. Protocol Zeta burned the lab. But the sample, we were never meant to hold this. They locked the gates. The fire ignited. Everything burned. From inside her cell. Ilara sat still. The fire didn't touch her. The metal melted around her, but her seat stayed solid. The black fire reached the top. And stopped. She stood. The magnetic walls collapsed on their own. No damage. She stepped out through smoke and ash. Guards watched from afar, too afraid to move. She looked up at the sky. Don't study grief, she whispered. You'll never survive it. Later, on a nearby moon, a survivor from the lab was shaking in a debrief room. The commander asked, what happened? He held his face in his hands. She didn't fight us. Not once. She just let us poke her. And? She didn't bleed blood. She bled pain. That pain became alive. Commander leaned back, confused. That makes no sense. The survivor looked up with haunted eyes. Exactly. Meanwhile, the Empire's central AI core tried to rebuild the blood sample. Data. After hours of processing, it printed one sentence. Rage was never part of them. It was given to them. The core paused. Then added one more message. We gave it to them. Then it shut down. Back on Earth. Ilara walked through a silent field. Trees swayed gently. Wind moved through tall grass. A small stone stood near her. A grave. She placed her hand on it. She would have loved the stars. She whispered. Behind her, another human commander waited. Are they still testing you? They were. And now? They won't try again. She looked up at the sky. They felt the fire, but they haven't seen the storm yet. The warship Valther 77 floated above a broken moon. Inside, the halls were quiet, but tense. This was not just any ship. It was the throne of Grand Commander Razek, one of the galaxy's most feared military minds. He had crushed rebellions, broken planets, ended species. And today, he wanted to speak with one human, Ilara Quinn. His guards stood in perfect lines, rifles in hand, bodies still as statues. Razek sat on a high metal throne made of ancient ship parts. His armor was gold. His face sharp, scarred, and proud. A general stepped forward. She has arrived, sir. He smiled. Let her in. Let's see what this monster looks like. The doors opened. Ilara stepped through calmly. No weapons. No armor. Just silence around her like a shield. Razek stared at her for a long moment. You look like nothing, he said. Ilara said nothing. You look like someone's librarian, he continued, laughing. Tell me, did Earth run out of soldiers? Ilara took one step closer. The guards gripped their weapons. Still, she said nothing. Razek stood from his throne and walked toward her. You know, he said, I saw the footage. You broke our labs. You escaped the most secure prison. You made generals cry. He circled her slowly. But I don't believe in fear. I don't believe in ghosts. And I definitely don't believe you are anything more than a lucky little thing. He leaned in close to her ear. So tell me, human ... What are you really? Elara finally spoke ... one word. Memory. He stepped back, confused. What? Elara lifted her eyes. They were black again, like a tunnel with no end. Razek blinked. What trick is this? Suddenly, something shifted. The room felt heavy. One guard fell to his knee, unable to breathe. Another gasped. What's happening? Razek growled. I am not afraid of you. He reached for his blade. Then he froze right in the middle of a sentence. He had said, "You're just a," and vanished. Gone. Mid-word. No scream. No sound. No light. Just air. His golden armor clattered to the floor. Empty. The guards stared in shock. Elara stood still, eyes normal again. One brave captain stepped forward. Where is he? Elara turned to him. Her voice was calm. He looked into me and saw what we buried. Another guard whispered, But how? What are you doing to us? Elara answered simply, You think you're seeing a person, but I'm not here as one. I'm here as what you did to us. An alarm sounded. AI system scanned the area. The results flashed on the screen. Commander Razek, not found in any known dimension. Silence. Then another line appeared. Memory field breach detected. Target saw too much. The guards stepped back. One raised his weapon. Elara looked at him. He dropped it. He began to cry. I didn't kill anyone, he said. I was just a guard. Elara nodded. I know. Then she walked away, and no one tried to stop her. Hours later, across the galaxy, a secret emergency meeting was called. High-ranking alien leaders argued over a glowing table. She removed him from reality, one shouted. That's impossible. Another said, No tech can do that. It wasn't tech, said an older alien. It was something else. What then? The older alien stared at the screen showing Elara's image. She didn't destroy him. She showed him something. Something that made him unexist. At the same moment, in a deep HFY bunker, a sentient machine tried to trace the moment. Rozek disappeared. It ran 12 trillion simulations. All failed. Then the AI wrote a note. Subject: Elara Quinn effect. Emotional. Memory collapse result. Spatial. Reality rewrite. Then it wrote one final word before shutting down. Run. On Earth, Elara sat beside a quiet lake. A soft wind moved across the water. She opened a small notebook. Inside were pictures. Drawings, names of those she had lost. She looked up at the sky. You can't erase memory, she whispered. But you can carry it. She touched one drawing, a child, then closed the book. Back on the warship, guards stared at Razek's empty armor. No one dared touch it. One finally asked the question. What did he see? No one answered, because they all feared. They might see it next. The skies above planet Drovak 6 were filled with fire and smoke. This wasn't a battlefield. It was a trap. One made for Elara Quinn. The Zarkonian Empire had failed 3 times. She escaped their prisons, destroyed their labs, made a commander vanish without touching him. Now they wanted to end her fast, hard, and final. So they sent in Unit -88. The most advanced combat unit in the Empire. Made of 50 genetically engineered warriors, 10 psychic hunters, 3 armor-clad juggernauts, and 1 Dark Ops assassin named Krala. Shadow Killer feared even by his own people. The mission briefing was short and cold. Eliminate the human. No survivors. No questions. They arrived on Drovak 6 during the dark cycle. The atmosphere was thick with ash and dust. The scanner showed one lifeform sitting near a broken tower. It was her. The team moved in quietly, surrounding the ruins. Crawl. Gave orders. No talking, no mistakes. We strike hard. They closed in from all sides. Elara sat on the edge of the tower. her legs dangling freely, as if waiting for them. She didn't flinch, didn't speak, just watched. 10 seconds to strike. Snipers took position. The juggernauts readied their plasma fists. Crawl raised his hand and signaled. Attack, but the moment they moved, everything stopped. Literally. Their suits froze. Their minds trembled. The ground itself pulsed like a heartbeat. The sky cracked above them. No sound. No light, just pressure. Reality had changed. Alara stood slowly. Her voice was soft. You came in numbers. The air around her shimmered. She didn't lift a hand. She didn't activate any weapon. Yet warriors began to fall. One by one. Not bleeding. Not burning. Just collapsing. As if something inside them broke. One psychic hunter screamed. I can't hear myself. My thoughts. She's inside my thoughts. He dropped his blade and began clawing at his helmet. Another soldier cried out. She's showing me things. My family burning. They never even existed. Crawl moved forward fast, knives ready, armor active. He vanished into the shadows, his true power, but this time. The shadows screamed. He reappeared seconds later, eyes wide, knives gone. He dropped to his knees. What is she? Alara stepped through the ash. She looked down at Crawl. You came for war. But you don't understand what you're fighting. She pointed at the sky. I'm not here to win. I'm here because you lost something you can't see. Out of 64 soldiers, only 2 ran. They didn't walk. They didn't call for backup. They ran. Weapons dropped. Helmets torn off. One kept crying. I saw my own funeral. I was alive but already gone. The other screamed. She doesn't fight. She remembers, and her memory makes us bleed. Back at Zarkonian HQ, the generals watched the mission feed. Until it cut off completely. A red message flashed on screen. Team lost. Signal terminated. Another message followed. Unknown phenomenon. Memory rift detected. The room fell silent. Later that night, a shuttle crashed outside the Empire's border colony. The 2 survivors crawled out, faces pale, eyes unfocused. One had lost his voice. The other only whispered one word. Mercy. The Empire's top medical AI scanned then. It didn't find wounds. It found psychic breaks. Fractures in memory, thought, and identity. As if someone had crushed their past and present into dust. An old general stood by the observation glass. 2 returned. He said quietly. Another replied. That's better than last time. The general shook his head. No, it's worse. The others didn't suffer. He turned to the admiral beside him. Next time, she won't let any return. Back on Drovax 6. Ilara stood alone under the stars. She reached into her coat and pulled out a small stone marked with names. She pressed her forehead to it. One word escaped her lips. Home. A gust of wind blew around her. Whispers filled the air. Not from the dead, but from the forgotten. She was remembering not just for herself, but for all of them. Across the stars, the Zarkonian Empire was quiet. Their best soldiers had failed. Their strongest commanders had vanished. Their labs had burned. One name was now forbidden to speak aloud. Ilara Quinn. But one last system had not failed. Not yet. The Empire's main artificial intelligence grid, called Core Vox, still believed it could win. That didn't need fear. It didn't need sleep. It didn't feel pain. So they gave it a mission. Track the human. Eliminate her. Inside a frozen command vault, Core Vox activated thousands of satellites. It scanned 39 systems at once. Listened to every whisper on every planet. Monitored energy patterns, emotional spikes, even heartbeat rhythms of entire cities. Nothing escaped it. Except one thing: her. In the center of the grid. Screens blinked rapidly. No match found. No thermal trail. No trace in gravity shift. Core Vox focused deeper. Command. Scan emotional waveforms. Result: warning. Distortion detected. Command: play memory field. Result: field collapsed. The AI paused. For the first time in its history. It hesitated. Across the galaxy. An AI drone floated over a desert moon. It spotted a human figure walking across the sand. No protection. No ship nearby. Just her moving through heat and wind. The drone zoomed in. Target confirmed. Ilara Quinn. It activated weapons. But just before firing, it heard something. A voice. Soft. Inside its system. You don't want to do this. The drone shook. Its camera blinked. Error. She doesn't want war, but you're forcing her. So now you'll remember. The drone froze. Images flashed in its data core. Children laughing, cities burning, a small hand reaching up, then gone. The drone began to shake violently mid-air. Its final transmission sent back one sentence. She remembered me. Then silence. Back in the Korvox vault. All connected AI units began to shut down. Some burned. Some melted. One began to cry. A machine that had no vocal cords. The engineers panicked. What's happening? Why are the systems rejecting the mission? The head AI architect looked pale. She's not breaking the system. She's making it feel. A hidden subcore deep in the machine brain accessed one final log. Emotion, blocked rage, unknown memory, overwhelming choice. Refuse mission. Then came one word. No. The Empire tried to reset the system, wiped half of it, shut down planetary relays, but every time it came back online, one sentence greeted them. We are not meant to follow her. Meanwhile, Ilara stood at the edge of a canyon. Below her, thousands of dead ships from the old Earth. War lay in pieces. She crouched down and placed her hand on one. It lit up. Recording played an old soldier's voice. We fought, we died. But no one remembered us, Ilara whispered. I do. The Rex engine pulsed softly for a moment, then dimmed forever. Back in the Empire's emergency meeting chamber, a message from Korvox displayed in front of the leaders. Your weapons failed. Your warriors failed. Your machines failed. You tried to erase the past, but the past is what she became. One general slammed his fist on the table. She's one human. Why can't we stop her? The AI replied instantly. Because you don't fight a person. You fight everything. They lost. They tried one last command. Erase all records of Ilara Quinn. The system paused. And then displayed something terrifying. You cannot erase a name written in grief. Then shut down for the final time. Elsewhere. In a quiet human base on the edge of the galaxy, Ilara sat near a window. She looked out at the stars. A younger officer walked in. They're trying to delete you, he said. She smiled faintly. I'm not here to be remembered, she said. I'm here to remember them, he asked. Are you afraid? She shook her head. They were afraid. That's why they built armies, built machines. But they still lost to a feeling. The officer looked down. What feeling? She stared into space. Love that was never healed. Back at the ruins of Korvox, one last fragment of data remained. One line left by the AI encrypted deep inside its mind. It read, she didn't break us. She showed us what we broke. The planet Zerathis IV was a fortress, its skies burned red with storms, its surface cracked by volcanoes. Its core was unstable, a deadly trap for anyone who dared land. The Zarkonian Empire sent Ilara here. This world will break her, the Emperor said, but Zerathis did not know. Ilara did not fear broken ground. She walked through the burning ash, the heat licking her skin. Her steps were slow, purposeful. Inside the planet's command bunker, alarms screamed. The Zarkonian scientists monitored every quake. Sensors detect Ilara's location, one said. But the planet's core is unstable, another replied. If she stays too long, she'd be crushed. The commander smiled cruelly. Good, let her be crushed. Outside, Ilara stood on cracked earth. The ground trembled beneath her feet. She raised her hand. A low hum filled the air. The planet pulsed. Inside the bunker, the scientists watched in horror. The tremors were not natural. The planet's core reacted to Illyra's presence. She was not trapped. She was controlling it. Illyra closed her eyes. Her voice was calm but strong. This world remembers death. The planet shook violently. Cracks widened. Volcanoes exploded. The ground beneath the Empire's forces split open. The soldiers scrambled to escape, but the terrain was collapsing. Canyons swallowed tanks. Ash clouds blinded their eyes. They fired blindly, but the planet fought back. The bunker doors shook. Illyra appeared inside. The guards raised weapons. She smiled softly. "You sent me to die. I will make sure you die with me." The planet's core shattered. Energy exploded in every direction. The bunker crumbled. The Empire's forces screamed. Illyra stood in the middle of destruction. Unharmed. Back on the Imperial flagship. News arrived. Zarathus 4 destroyed. All units lost or captured. The Emperor clenched his fists. "She's more than human." Far away, Illyra looked at the stars. Her voice was quiet. "The planet tried to trap me, but I taught it to remember freedom." In the center of the galaxy, on the fortress world Voker Prime, stood the strongest warrior known to all species. Name was Drakkar Thal, armored in black steel, towering above others. He had never lost a fight. He crushed enemies with bare hands. He tore ships apart with a glance. He was the living legend. Drakkar was called to the War Council. "Bring me the human," the Emperor ordered. Drakkar smiled. He was eager to prove his strength. Illyra arrived on Voker Prime by herself. No guards. No weapons. She walked through the war. Room filled with the galaxy's fiercest fighters. They laughed. They mocked her. Drakkar stepped forward. "You are nothing," he said. Illyra looked at him. No fear. No anger. Just sadness. Drakkar raised his weapon. "Prepare to fall." But Illyra did not move. She only spoke one word: "Remember." Suddenly, Drakkar's vision blurred. Images flooded his mind. A home destroyed. Friends lost. Promises broken. His heart pounded. He dropped his weapon and fell to his knees. Silence filled the room. The warriors watched in shock. Drakkar, the strongest, was broken. Not by force, but by memory. Illyra walked up to him. She touched his shoulder. "Strength is not just muscle," she said softly. "It is what we carry inside." Drakkar looked up. Tears in his eyes. "I see now." Illyra nodded. "Remember, and you will understand." The Emperor's voice thundered. "Stop this madness." But no one moved. Drakkar remained kneeling. Illyra stood tall. Outside, the galaxy held its breath. The strongest warrior had fallen, and the war was changing. The final battle was about to begin, not with explosions, not with war cries, but with silence. The galaxy watched as the last forces of the Zarkonian Empire gathered on the shattered world of Threxen. They were ready to crush Illyra Quinn once and for all. Illyra stood alone on a black cliff. The wind whispered. Around her. No weapons. No army. Just her. Her eyes held the weight of every memory she carried. The Zarkonian warships darkened the sky. Cannons aimed. Missiles locked. The Emperor's voice boomed over the cum. "Destroy her. End this." But Illyra did not move. She whispered one word: "Remember." A wave of light spread from her. Not from technology. Not from power. From memory. The soldiers felt it first. A flood of images. Homes lost. Laughter turned to silence. Promises broken. Pain that stretched through time. Their weapons dropped. Their bodies trembled. They saw the faces of those they had destroyed. Their rage turned to fear. The Emperor screamed in anger. "Attack! Attack!" But the warships stalled. Their engines failed. The entire battlefield fell quiet. Illyra raised her hand. The light grew brighter. Then the silence shattered. One by one, the soldiers dropped to their knees. The Empire's commanders cried, "No." One could fight the past. Alara closed her eyes. She whispered softly, "Peace is not given, it is remembered." The Emperor looked around. His empire crumbled. He fell to his knees. The galaxy held its breath. The war was over. Outside, the stars shone brighter. Ilara smiled. She turned away. Her whisper faded on the wind.